Good morning, Bitcoin. Today is Tuesday, August 15th, 2017. My name is Thomas Hunt, and here's what's happening today in Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin was down last night, more than 7.37%, with a last of 39.35, a high of 43.91, and a low of 39.35. Bitcoin hits a record high before rolling over. Bitcoin hit a record high of 44.83 before declining to 3900s. Blockstream reveals their secret. They're going to use satellites to beam Bitcoin down to Earth. I'm sure some of you are familiar with Jeff Garczyk's exciting Bitcoin satellite plan. It looks like Blockstream has picked up where he left off. They plan to give coverage to the entire world, not internet access, but Bitcoin access. Actually, a really exciting project, and we'll have to see if we can learn more about it soon. Finally, we have 22 internet memes that let you relive Bitcoin's historic rise. Bitcoin, kind of a big deal around here. And these are just great. The link's down below. I'm not sure if you've seen these guys. Not sure if Bitcoin value is going up or fiat value is going down. And of course, the volatility roller coaster. Finally, Dennis Gartman from Goldman Sachs warns you, stay away from Bitcoin because he doesn't understand it. Meanwhile, on the other side, Standpoint's Ronnie Moas raises his Bitcoin forecast to $7,500. We might not have seen the top yet. We're also joined by Jimmy Song with a check of the scaling. How's it going, Jimmy?
It's going great. SegWit looks like it's about a week away. We're about 855 blocks into the current difficulty adjustment period. So I think XBT.EU's estimate of it being next Tuesday is a little aggressive. I'm guessing it's going to be next Wednesday or possibly even Thursday because we still have more than half the blocks to go. But yeah, obviously that's very exciting. Everyone is excited to see SegWit transactions on the network, and we'll all be watching for Lightning Network transactions and wallets and infrastructure plays. One other thing, Bitcoin Cash, they are scheduled to readjust their difficulty in about 4 days. And this is important because that adjustment looks like it will be like a downward difficulty adjustment of about 50 or 60%. And that means that it may, given the current price ratio between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, it might be very, very close to being about even profitability with Bitcoin. That obviously changes the miner incentives. So that's something that we're watching pretty closely. Other than that, we'll have some videos and articles this week. Pay attention to Twitter and Medium and all the other things that I usually do.
Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here, Jimmy, but do you think that Blockstream satellites will be compatible with Bitcoin Cash?
Doubt it. I really hope, though, that somebody makes like a do-it-yourself, satellite kit or something like that. I would love to run one of those just for my own privacy because, nobody wants to connect to the internet, but satellite by nature is broadcast only. So you can receive all of this stuff without having to reveal your IP address. That is really exciting for me. I always thought this would be done via radio waves or something like that because those are really good broadcasting mediums. But the internet could go down and you would still have Bitcoin operating. This is one of the criticisms that people have had about Bitcoin. If a large EMP destroyed all the electronics on Earth or something like that, you wouldn't be able to get it. Well, that's sort of still true, but you can at least receive something given the right equipment that hasn't been affected. So. Very exciting stuff. I am really, really curious to see if somebody will make one of those kits. It's kind of like the race to the first hardware wallet that happened many years ago. I imagine there will be a race to a new satellite receiver that can receive these Bitcoin blocks.
And perhaps even extraterrestrials can use the new Bitcoin network as the receivers will be located in space. We've got 562 live views. Thanks for everybody giving us a thumbs up and a share. If it's your first time here, please subscribe down below. We do these reports every day. And we're joined by Tone Vase with a check of the current markets. How's it going, Tone?
Hey guys, it's going good. I'm at the Toronto airport headed over to Russia, so I'll be on airplanes for the next 12 plus hours or so. So will be interesting what's happening with the Bitcoin price during that time. Here's the weekly chart. If we take a look at the a view, for like a bird's eye view, like our momentum, is showing some divergence on the RSI, assuming this top holds. The MACD is not showing any divergence. So these two are basically conflicting with each other. So they're totally useless as a reversal indicator. Also, this is a weekly chart. So this week is only Tuesday. So we're not even halfway through the current candle. So we don't know what's going to happen. So for now, the last 12 hours or so have been, a bit bearish for the market, but the weekly chart is still saying all, steam ahead. So I'm still expecting this to continue for 4 more weeks of upside. Now, I don't know if that upside will reach the Goldman Sachs target of 7,500 because they're just pulling that out of their ass, and or it's going to stop somewhere earlier or higher. I have no idea. And sorry, you guys are going to get a little bit of a speaker there, so not sure if Thomas is going to mute me or not, but hopefully not. Okay, so let's move on. And so this is the week you want your pullback, okay? And I'll tell you why. I do like these numbers. I know a lot of new people don't understand what they are. This is a very advanced indicator. And in order to get this 9, like we did here, to top out, this candle, the 9 candle, needs to be higher than the 5 candle. And if the 5 candle is weak or weaker than the 4, it makes it easier to get to that 9. So this is not necessarily a bad thing, okay? Now, the weekly chart has been saying we're going to be bullish for 4 more weeks, and I was saying that, 2 weeks ago, I was saying bullish for longer. The daily chart was giving you, caution signs left and right. Now, Bitfinex gave you the very first caution sign on August 11th, telling you to be careful because there might be a pullback before going higher. But the Bitstamp chart gave you 2 extra days of bullishness. So and I was talking about these together, saying, hey, you know what? This may not lead to any sell-off because a different Bitcoin price is showing you a few more days. Now, these were all warning signs for you to take your profit, and I tweeted that out. Now, we had one more good day, and then boom, the last 12 hours have not been very good. So this could be the pullback from this 9, which should only last the rest of this week. And after that, I'm expecting it to turn back up, but we will reevaluate in a couple of days. The hourly chart was also giving you warning signs. I believe I tweeted this one out, and then I didn't have time, but the hourly chart did give me another point to say, hey, why don't you be careful right here? We did not hit another 9, we hit a doji, but then check this out right here. Once it started falling on the hourly chart, boom, we hit a 9 and a reversal candle. This is known as a hammer. So you guys are lucky that I'm doing this right now. The moment the next candle goes above this 9, I'm bullish. I'm short-term, very short-term bullish on the hourly chart. But the daily chart is saying this could last 1 to 4 days or the rest of the week, okay? So there is the hourly chart may reverse right here in the next few hours. That's what the probability says. The daily chart says that we can go down for 1 to 3 more days. And the weekly chart saying we're going to go up. So use this information as you guys see fit. I'm going to hand it back to you, Thomas, as I turn my camera back on.
We do have a question, Tone. As the Standpoint prediction said Bitcoin would rise to 7,500, the Goldman Sachs prediction said that Bitcoin would hit 4,800 and then have a major correction, perhaps back to 29 or even 22. What do you think of those options?
I don't really see 22 in the cards. A correction to 29 or 3,000 is always going to be a risk because when we initially, like if I go back to screen share real quick, like here's the weekly chart. When we initially got stopped right here at the 29, 3,000 area and pulled back, we came back and broke out. And on the daily chart, I was talking about this triangle breakout. Now, I don't really have time to Google the how these triangles break out. But very often, right here around this 5 candle, they tend to fall all the way back and retest the 3,000 area before going all the way up like we did. Because we went straight up, the risk of going back to 3,000 will probably be there the rest of the year. It's unfortunate. Like, had we fallen down to 3,000 a week ago and then rallied to 4,000, I would be way more comfortable in removing the crash to 3,000 risk from being a higher probability than it still is. So the current drop, it would still be within the bullish trend to go all the way back to 3,000 because we never really tested it. And this is one of the problems that a lot of traders fall into, is that if we start to fall heavily, do you assume that it's going to go to 3,000 or it doesn't? And a lot of traders get caught and basically guess what's going to happen. So and it's a situation I can't predict either. But I don't see 2,200 because of my rule on double tops and double bottoms. If we fall all the way back to this area right here, I'm going to be very scared about Bitcoin and expecting it to go to 1,200. Because the same way I'm talking about the 3,000 risk, the 1,200 risk had always been that same thing, which is why if we didn't reverse at this level here at 1,900, 1,200 would have been my point. We never went back to test it. So at this stage in the game, 1,200 is almost out of the question unless something catastrophic happens. 3,000 is still a possibility, though we probably don't get there. The most likely is about 3,500 before a real reversal.
All right, thanks, Tone, for that update. It's also possible that there's so much demand for Bitcoin that people simply see these red candles as a sale and they buy in, rejecting the chart analysis. But we'll just have to see how that goes. We'd like to thank everyone for watching. We've got 838 live viewers. If you'd like to donate, we've got the Mad Bitcoins Patreon. We're up to 74 patrons, close of our goal of 100 patrons. And you can subscribe for as little as $2 a month. And finally, if you've got some Bitcoin, we've got a donation address. If you'd like to send us a few bits, that'd be great. And thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.